Stop.
What's up, everybody? It's Barnabas here with Kiefer, and in the house today we got Snaps and we got Androponics TV.
What up, y'all?
TV. I don't know why TV, but TV.
Hi.
Today we are here, of course, to talk about some horror movies like we always are on our double feature horror review. And today's movies are the Banana Splits movie and Willy's Wonderland. Obviously, because both of them are. There's a little bit of lore behind.
Movies.
Yeah, they're animatronic movies. There's a little bit of lore with the Five Nights at Freddy's. Kiefer, you want to talk about that?
So apparently both of the movies were originally going to be Five Nights at Freddy's movies, but because of licensing and other reasons, probably that they got turned into what they are, being Banana Splits and whatever Willy's Wonderland is.
I mean,
Yes.
they're more or less they're placeholder characters. So the
Yep.
Banana Splits was a variety show years and years and years ago where these people would just dress up in the 4 character suits. They would have also cartoon like segments and stuff like that. There was like 30 characters, recurring characters that would come in and off.
And like the cartoon part is what I actually remember. Like I don't remember there being a live action part of it. When
I kind of do, but I mean it was.
I remember the live.
It was
action.
like
a
lot of like British. It was really British. Like Trigger Happy TV brought a lot of derived a lot of its inspiration, I believe, from this whole show. How long it lasted, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, it has very much a Monkeys feel, but like with people in costumes.
Yeah,
which is odd. But yeah, both fantastic horror movies. And then we're also going to talk about a little horror short that's kind of related. That was on Hulu called The Hug, which I feel needs to be a full movie. But we'll get to that. Of course, as always, we are going to be talking in depth about these movies. So there is a spoiler alert here. We are going to be spoiling these movies. So if you haven't seen them, pause the video, go watch the movies, come back.
Hell, I just found out about this Willy movie. I can't wait to watch it.
Yes. Willy's Wonderland. Oh, I didn't name the other ones. We're going to watch the Banana Splits movie and Willy's Wonderland. So let's start off, of course, with the Banana Splits movie. We've already started talking about it a little bit. So the plot of the movie essentially is like there's a little boy who's obsessed with the Banana Splits, and for his birthday he gets a present where he gets a tour of the show, of like a live screening of the show, and it's found out that this show is going to be canceled. This is the last show. And the kid almost gets hit by the Banana Splits riding in a car. And that causes the Splits to get some sort of weird upgrade that turns them psychopathic, for lack of a better word.
I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the... and this is... pretense that I haven't seen the movie in a little while. That I'm pretty sure wasn't it the mechanic or engineer, whatever the hell that old man was. Wasn't it something to do with him because he would be slighted?
I think they hint at it later on.
Because I vaguely remember the 4 of them walking in. Him starting to do some like totalitarian speech to them and stuff like that, and they're like, "Whatever you say, boss."
Yeah, he is clearly unhinged. Later on in the movie, you kind of find out that
you see him later on.
As he's like dying, he made them.
Yeah, he like locks everybody in for whatever reason, but for plot sense,
yeah,
that's why they got locked in. But the kids are all these the Instagrammers.
There's some main characters. Like there's 2 Instagrammers. There's like this overattached dad with his daughter who he wants her to be a star, and she's clearly just doing whatever to appease him. There's the kid who's obsessed and brings this little girl who doesn't seem like really much of a friend and thinks it's kind of corny, but like is being nice about it. There's the kid's stepdad who's a complete dickhole. and the mom, who seems a little overprotective, and then his like older stepbrother, who seems like a burnout almost. He does this weird like emo-y thing with this
Yeah.
PA girl, who's also a main character in the show. Other than that, the other main characters are Stevie, who's the guy who acts with the Banana Splits.
Yeah, he's basically
The
like
producer
the host.
woman, and the VIP who kind of tells the producer that the show's getting canceled. Those are about the main characters of the movie. But anyway, they get this update, and obviously it messes with them in a way where they're a little more aggressive and violent. And then when it's told to them that the show is canceled, that's really when the gas hits. And I believe the first kill you see in the movie is Stevie getting a giant lollipop shoved down his throat, which is pretty legit.
That would be. I think we should cover the fact that the four characters actually have names.
Oh yeah, that's another great point. Go ahead. You can.
It's all good. It's just gonna be hard for us to
right. We need to structure this a little better, and we'll figure it out. This is like the third one.
It's all good, man. All right, so who we have here is and I do, from what I remember, the elephant doesn't do much. You have the elephant, which is Snorky. You have I do believe they've labeled him as an alien, but that's that was Droopy, correct?
Drooper.
The Drooper.
Yeah.
Okay. Then you have Fleagle the Beagle, who is a very, very shaped like Grimace dog. Very odd shaped dog, I might add. I'm sorry, but and then we have Bingo the Ape, who is more or less the main Banana Split, the front guy. But yes, we start off, I do believe, as you said, it's Drooper shoving a spiral lollipop with probably the longest handle of any lollipop ever manufactured.
And now I will say, this horror movie is a gore.
It is. Buckets of red food coloring,
and I think the lollipop scene is specifically hard to watch for me because, like, you see, like, it progressively going down his throat further.
It's like,
and they
get his throat open.
It's like one of those.
A crazy prosthetic for this scene, and
it's like one of those scenes where you see it happening to them, and you can almost feel it happening to you.
You feel your throat dry out. I swear to.
They made it look as real as they could make it look.
Like the spurting and all that. Yeah.
I have a picture of it, actually.
There you go.
Yeah.
Unflash it so you don't get hit.
Usually when we don't video, we're okay.
Okay.
But yeah, so that happens pretty early on in the movie. The show does happen a little bit before this.
It's because Stevie's a drunk and they hate him.
Yeah, Stevie's kind of an asshole. And Stevie's the one who breaks it to the Splits that they're canceled. So
he does it pretty harshly too. He's like belittling them and stuff like that as a drunk.
And another major plot point that happens during that is that there are certain people that give VIP to go backstage to meet the Banana Splits, being the people that I described in the beginning, the influencers, the father with his daughter, and the stepbrother kind of flirts with the PA to get his brother backstage as well. But anyway, so the Splits start going on these tears. Stevie dies shortly after. It cuts to Snorky in a car chasing down the father.
Yeah, that's right. The dude, he gets run over. That's right. That is Snorky.
Yeah, Snorky. That's really the only time he's done.
That's right,
anything.
Snorky was the one that did the car. The guy's like yelling, and all of a sudden just, and they show the.
Yeah.
The car doesn't miss a beat either. That's crazy.
Yeah, there's like a little chase scene there. The influencers kind of run off while they're trying to meet the Splits, and they go looking for Fleagle's magic shop. And you get this great scene with Fleagle. Well, first the influencer proposes to the girl that he's with because I guess this is their big thing. Um, and they're like live on the fucking Instagram while they're doing it. And then Fleagle shows up and they're all geeking out and he like forcefully shoves the guy in the
He just,
magic
like,
box. And he like grabs the girl and like grabs this like circular saw that's like really cartoony and starts like forcefully cutting this dude in half with her, like making her do it.
It
And
never
she's
makes it, like,
screaming
less
and
than an
having
inch
a
in.
hard time.
Yeah, it's like them
Uh,
those old school magic tricks they would do where they
Mhm.
pretend to cut someone in half, except they
Saw
really
blades like this long and shit. You could tell it's like painted cardboard.
And then the payoff is when they pull it. He pulls it apart, and all the organs just fall down.
And she's just screaming the entire time. Her lungs were amazing, I tell you.
Yeah, and then he goes to maybe go after her, and I believe people show up. I believe it's the kids that show up and chase him off, kind of thing. And then she's just sitting there crying. Meanwhile, the other ones, the kids are meeting the splits. The father is trying to get his daughter a job on the show, and they find out that when they meet the lady who's producing the show, that she can't do anything for them, and the show is being canceled.
Mhm.
So the guy and the daughter run off to find the vice president or whoever to like push his daughter further. Yeah, I'm going a little too in depth here, but
That's okay. No.
meanwhile-
I'm shaking my head at the father, just like, oh well, that didn't work. So let's go further up the ladder.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was whack, but it was a good,
I mean, it is a
imitation
B
of
movie,
how people.
but it really is like that. Like, oh well,
Yeah.
they said no, so well, yeah, that's what I'm rolling
Yeah.
my eyes at.
But
Not-
the next
not
major
your-
thing
not
that
your
kind of
synopsis.
happens though is he gets his because he gets fucking lit on fire. Like
spray can and lighter,
yeah.
old school as fuck. Like this far
He
away.
gets lit on fire and he's just kind of on the ground squirming and fucking and it's Drooper that does it and he's just fucking dancing and doing his thing still. And like they hit their catchphrases even while they're killing the people and it's fucking amazing. I don't know why I'm cursing so much. Anyway, it's amazing.
Juggalo.
Yeah, and then the girl who produces the show, I believe, goes through Bingo's magic forest thing, and she breaks her leg at some point.
Yeah, I
and
think she's turning a corner. She's
and
just
then I
turning a
believe
corner.
she's
and Camp Willy
grabbed.
just breaks her stuff.
Yeah, she's grabbed by him, I believe, at some point. I think he puts a bag over her face. I could be wrong. It's been a minute since I've seen it too. But then it cuts to them in kind of a segment that they do on the show prior, which is called Slime Time, which is like a kid's obstacle course where they go up some like railings and pies are thrown at them and stuff. And they have to get to the key. So she's on a broken leg. He's all burned up. They're like scuttling through this obstacle course, falling down, having a bad time. They get to the part with the key, and Fleagle is there. I believe it's Fleagle, and they're like, "Where's the key?"
It's Drooper,
Drooper's the other one. Drooper's the other side.
the skinny one. He's a skinny, tall one.
I think it's Drooper's the one that hits with the hammer. And
Yes,
I could be wrong.
You were right.
I could be wrong, but
I do believe you might be right.
they're like, "Where's
Go
the
ahead.
key?" And he's holding it, and he just jams it through the back of the dad, who's already all burned up. And he just kind of falls and dies, obviously.
And then he dies.
His face is all melted and stuff. Like he has a full prosthetic over his face. It's like got the uber welts. It's terrible, dude.
Right. And the girl, she gets through the ball pit. She jumps down. She goes to climb up the hammer to hit the thing with the hammer. And who is there but Drooper holding the hammer and just explodes her head with the hammer. And I think he even says like it's hammer time or something cheesy like that. The cheese, like the gore and the cheese in this movie are equally like there.
Yeah.
And that's
It's
what's
good
great about
gore.
it.
It's good gore though. It's not like extremely fake ketchup looking blood. It looks
And
realistic.
it's also not to the point where you're like, wow, art department, weird flex.
Yeah.
Is that how
Yeah.
vocal cords like look or what?
Yeah, they didn't go too far, but they went far.
They definitely have hoses of red stuff. It's like that, like the Snorky scene with the car. The dad's body's arm is just like goosh, like it's crazy. There's just no way that car would have drove straight. There's no way.
Well, he survives that part, believe it or not. He's at the end. We'll talk about it. You might not remember that part. I do. But no, and then so that happens, and people are dying, and the kids actually go off with Snorky, and they get locked up by Snorky, and then there's like a scene where they might get out because they get the key from the guy who was working on them, but they don't get out, and they end up getting taken down to a room full of all the other kids at the show. And earlier you find out all the parents have been killed. So all these kids are like chained to these seats and they're watching as they do the big wheel, which is like the gimmick of the banana splits. And there's a guy chained to the wheel.
Yeah.
And I forget what it lands on specifically.
Banana split.
Banana split, yeah, and like, what's that? And they like each grab an arm and a leg, and they just rip this guy in half. And I believe it's the vice. I believe it's the VP.
It's the VP, and his body just falls off of it, and he's like real campily. They just kind of his body does this number, and he's just on the grate.
Right.
Done.
And the young kid who had been obsessed with this show, and specifically Snorky, kind of talks to Snorky, is like, I know this isn't you, like, help us. And he actually slips the kids the key. And then the mom and the stepbrother and the PA end up coming, and the kids get out and they free all the other kids. And it's like chaos and everybody's running around. And then Flooper and Bingo, not Flooper,
Trooper.
Fleagle and Bingo,
Fleagle.
I believe,
Okay, gotcha.
are, man, it's been a minute. The ending is a little rough for me because
I do believe, I don't remember what happens to Drooper. Do you remember what happened to Drooper? Because I know what happens to Bingo.
I don't remember what happens with Fleagle or with
Well, Fleagle is obviously he looks like he got hit with some fire.
Yeah, I believe the parents actually come and like start messing them up with like weapons and stuff.
Didn't the main character kid's mom flip out on him?
Yeah, I believe the mom like kills Fleagle, and I believe Flooper. Again, sorry guys, it's been a minute. Watch the movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
if you've seen it, write in the comments where we're wrong, what we're wrong about, and whatnot. But anyway, the end of the movie is Bingo pretty much cuts off the kids and the mom and whatnot and tries to stop them. And Snorky actually comes to fight along their side. And then Snorky and Bingo get into a fight.
I got you. Fleagle, he is impaled through the skull by Austin with a crowbar.
Yes.
Drooper's a lion. He's a lion.
Yeah,
Drooper's a lion. Okay. Drooper the lion is impaled through the throat by Beth with a Harley's extendable wand.
Right. The ball with the stick on it.
And yes, as you were just saying, Snorky comes into fight with the kids.
And Snorky gets into a fight with Bingo and at some point rips out his heart. Or I think Bingo rips out Snorky's heart and then Snorky like pushes him over.
Bingo's head is split open by Snorky, and Snorky's heart is ripped out by Bingo as he's falling over the railing, I do believe,
Yes.
where he's saying time's almost up.
Yeah, and then so there's a cute little moment at the end where Snorky is talking to the kid, and the kid's like, "You're always been my favorite," and cheese at the end of a horror movie. And then it cuts to them outside, and they're talking to the police. One thing I didn't mention is the girl influencer who killed her boyfriend essentially with the help of Fleagle dons this weird like owl costume that like was like the unbuilt fifth member of the crew, and like kills the old man that created the banana splits, the mechanic guy. So at the end of the movie, it's the kids and the older stepbrother and the mom, and then the dad shows up kind of beat up, and they were like, "We're done with you, we're leaving." And at the end of the movie, it's just him kind of like hobbling away, and he gets hit by the car being driven by the girl influencer wearing the weird owl mask with all the banana splits in the back of the car, which is bait obviously for a sequel, which they are currently working on.
Yep.
Really? I didn't even know that.
While actually Googling things to help along with this refresh, I actually saw that they're doing a number 2, because the second movie you want to talk about actually didn't do as badly as this one did.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's essentially the plot of the movie. A little longer than I would like to tell it, but I couldn't not tell some of those details. Now, this is a fantastic movie. I think all 4 of us have seen it. Is there any standout parts of the movie that you want to throw out there? It's like something you really was entertained by, or you thought was
honestly,
really cool?
Honestly, you're not really giving anything away when you're saying, "Oh, well, this person dies this person dies that."
Yeah,
it's kind of like Saw movies. Yeah, if you go a little too deep into fan theory, you might be giving too much away that ruins the plot. But when you're like, I mean, yeah, there was this one part where he has a hammer and he smacks a girl's head and it explodes all over the ball pit. Okay, your imagination can draw that, but you got to see it to see it. You know what I'm saying?
We're just hitting the highlights. You got to see the movie.
The fact that they're like, oh, they're animatronic, dude. Those are clearly people in those suits. There's only like a couple times where they're like robots at all, but they're clearly people just trying to act like robots.
Sure. Well, we'll get to that with the next movie. But like, is there anything in the movie?
That's how Banana Splits was.
Yeah. Is there anything in the movie you guys want to point out as like really cool or really like refreshing, or like a specific kill or something that you really appreciated how they did?
My favorite kill is the magic trick kill, because it's so fucking brutal. Like, bro, fucking love that shit.
I was gonna say that's my favorite kill, but I don't think that's the most fucked up part at the same time. My favorite kill was the magic trick one, just because of how realistic they made it look with the way the guts spilled everywhere. It was fresh. I like the gore. As far as the movie goes, like, if you're a fan of gore, I mean, this isn't the goriest, but it's satisfying. They do a good job. But anyway, I don't think the magic trick part is the worst, most fucked up part. That's just my favorite kill. The most fucked up part of the movie is towards the end, when they have all of these little kids they're holding hostage downstairs, watching them dismember and torture a man that's tied up. That's some pretty dark shit. Imagine walking in on that. Like, that's some fucked up cult shit. Yeah. So I think that was like the darkest part, and then magic trick was fun.
I definitely can't wait to find out what they have the idea, even if they like leak some kind of info on the second one. I want to know what the hell she did with those. But like, why? After all that, what the hell do you want to do with those damn robots? Like what? Like what? What in your crazy now PTSD mind is going on with those damn robots?
Well, she was obsessed with the show, so like maybe she tries to make remake the show.
I really gotta
in their own
wonder,
dark way.
why are these people all obsessed with a show that was discontinued like 50 years ago and is somehow still making new episodes? It's that's kind of an odd point
Yeah.
of that. Like, why is this kid so obsessed with a show? Like, does grandma show it to him a lot when he was a kid? You know, something like it's just an odd thing
Well,
to be.
I think they do lean on that too a little bit, where the kid is a little odd, and like the girl that accompanies him is not about it and thinks
He's
it's
like
kind of
an
corny.
outcast. He's like an outcast kid.
And
People
he-
make fun of him, and he doesn't really have any but one friend.
And even the stepdad's just kind of a jerk about it. Like,
I hate that guy. Yeah, he's a fucking ass.
I'm gonna throw out. I think the slime time part is my favorite part of the movie, even though the lollipop scene is gruesome. I think just the throwback to something that's very classic to the Banana Split show and thrown back in the show, in the movie itself, to like juxtapose that with something so dark. And just the end with the hammer time is just a great way to like end that little bit.
Their little one-liners are really funny.
Yeah.
It's just so campy, but it's done so campily well.
And the way that they continue to dance and just act like it's a show, even though it's very juxtaposed, and I love that.
Like when I do believe it was Fleagle, was like, banana splits, and dude just starts getting ripped apart. He's just
Right. Yeah, that's
like,
something else. That's something else I really liked about the movie was that okay, so the storyline completely original. Completely original. You don't know what's about to happen, right? But they still have that classic cheese that's fucking hilarious. Just cuz it's just so much.
Like, yeah, I can't believe I just got caught on fire by a fucking stuffed lion. Oh,
Like-
it's a robot lion. Oh yeah, thanks for helping my day out, bud.
The corny stuff it's actually funny. And, you know, classic corny stuff you'd see. But at the same time the storyline is very original. I just laughed at the parts that were kind of like predictable. You know how like at the end, oh, it's a big happy moment. Like, yeah, go figure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of brings me to my next point, which is there anything negative you have to say about the movie? Anything you didn't like? Anything you think was a little off or could have been done better?
I always hate the influencer influence. I hate that. I hate that. I hate those characters. Like the Jason remake. I couldn't wait for the jock to die. And I'm usually like, oh, they're gonna be the guy that fights the guy. No, they take them out in the second most gruesome way because they're the annoying person.
Mm-hmm.
I always hate the annoying person. And it never becomes cliche to me either. Just the whole thing. Like, oh, look at us. Oh, yeah, we're live. Oh, now we're dying. It's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
I agree. It was entertaining a
But
little bit.
they're
but
trying to say, like, oh, well, all this vanity is the reason why. No, actually, they're dying because they're stupid.
yeah. And
Bro,
then the
that is
becomes
that is an animatronic dog.
Yeah.
It can't run. Why is this a problem? I mean, obviously, this is how these movies are engineered and all that. Like, women aren't always. The blonde girl doesn't always fall down when Jason is taking a brisk walk through the woods. You know,
Right.
like, how do you get caught by Jason? It's always these kinds of things. They don't actually bother me, but it's the only thing you can really gripe about the movie. The movie Banana Splits is done the way it's done because it is what it is. Like, how serious do you want this animatronic shit to go, but how childlike do you want to keep this horror idea we have? Like the Winnie the Pooh, can't wait.
Bro, I am so excited.
I know that's a little more off topic, but that's gonna be a good one.
Yeah.
Bro, the title alone has me fucking sold. Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Like,
Yeah.
It's
Bro.
such good. The cork gun better be a thing. That's all I'm gonna say. Someone better die with a cork gun. and he better say, "Oh, father."
I hope there's a happy end at some point.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, we've gone
Go
off
ahead,
task a
yeah.
little bit here. I'm gonna say one of the parts of the movie I really didn't think was great. I feel like after Slime Time, after that, like the whole kids chained up is interesting, but I feel like the movie kind of falls flat near the end. Like it's just there's a fight between them all. They all kind of die at the same time. And then the ending's just kind of a quick wrap up, and then the guy gets hit by the car. And I think the weird thing with the other influencer girl and the owl mask and all that is just an odd choice. Even for like sequel bait. Like it's just an odd choice to go that route, I feel.
They could have just like had her hiding somewhere in the owl costume, and yeah, sure, of course the place is still unlocked, but for some reason the cops left the murderous corpses of the robots left behind, and this could have happened. Something like that.
Or maybe
Sure.
there was backup robots that we didn't know about, and she was hiding.
Yeah, sure.
And then there's Flooper, and she gets
But
killed.
it definitely like, because it wasn't drawn out movie for sure.
Mhm.
It had an okay pace, but the end was definitely very.
I'd say it seemed
we need
short,
to wrap this
honestly.
up.
It seemed kind of short to me. It seemed like a very quick movie, and I feel like it could have ended on a stronger note.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on the banana splits before we move on to Willy's Wonderland?
It's a dope movie. I'm very happy. It's pretty great.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna rewatch it actually.
You gotta watch it if you haven't watched
tomorrow.
If you don't watch that one, I highly suggest, because I know you haven't seen this next one.
Yeah, I'm definitely already have that on my watch list.
Willy's Wonderland, which I usually have the title cards on here, but I didn't put them for some reason. Here we go. Quick, distract people. All right. Willy's Wonderland, featuring Nicolas Cage as the main character. This is every bit as much a Nicolas Cage action movie as it is a horror movie.
Yeah.
It really fucking is.
It starts off with Nicolas Cage.
I appreciate that.
In a
it starts off with like the flashback thing to show you what happened in Willy's.
Yeah,
it shows this couple getting fucking like murdered and shit, and
a little girl in like hiding in a cabinet as the parents get killed. But then really after that, like credit rolls, like intro title rolls, and then it starts off with Nicolas Cage driving around in a sports car in like a leather jacket, drinking this odd punch canned drink, and he hits a strip. I don't know what they're called, the police strip that like pops your tires.
Oh yeah, the stop strip.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he gets a flat tire.
Drinking odd punch, gets stopped by the cops.
And
go ahead.
A tow truck pulls up, oddly enough, and takes him along and tows his car to his garage. And this guy is backwoods. Like, this is a backwood town of very few people, probably. And he's like, I can fix it for you, but it's gonna cost $1,000. And he goes to give him a card. He's like, oh, I don't take cards. And then he cuts to the ATM, and the ATM's down. He's like, oh, the ATMs don't work here because we don't have any internet. He's like, but if you want, and mind you, Nicolas Cage hasn't said a word. And he won't. I'm gonna spoil it now. He won't.
He does not say one fucking line in that whole movie at all.
You mean to tell me Bingo had more lines than Nicolas fucking Cage?
Yes.
I think you just keep
waiting. Every
for
animatronic in this movie has more lines than. Anyway, and there's like this cheesy subplot where he has to help out at Willy's Wonderland and clean it up and try to get it rebuilt because they're going to reopen it.
Because of course.
You meet this like weird Texas philanthropist, like this rich Texan who like takes him inside and gives him a shirt And it's like, you're part of the team now. And he's like, clean up, but make sure you take breaks.
Make sure you take.
And there's this weird thing with his watch, which we'll get into also. But he starts cleaning. He just puts on the shirt. He starts cleaning. He doesn't say a word. And then you start seeing the animatronics behind him moving. And like he's just like, whatever. He's cleaning. He doesn't see it. And then all of a sudden he turns around and the first animatronic, which is the bird.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't have the name of the bird. But the bird just comes up behind him. And he just turns around. And they're like looking face to face. And the bird just starts trying to peck at him, and he starts fighting back. And they just have like a weird
the living piss out of this thing.
It's just like a weird fist fight with an animatronic bird. And he's just none the wiser. He doesn't care. He's not like shook by it. He gets pecked in the cheek, and then he just destroys the thing.
Yeah.
And there's a funny gimmick in the movie where every time he fights one of these things, he gets covered in like this oily blood, and then he puts on a new shirt. He goes to the supply closet and puts on a new shirt.
I think something just was brought to my attention. Has he ever called anything in this movie?
No.
Nope.
His credits is the janitor. This looks like the best thing Nicolas Cage has ever done.
It's fantastic.
And I feel like this movie is more accurate towards Five Nights too. Like this is more of a Five Nights movie than.
And apparently they want to do a second one as well.
He has like a wristwatch, and it goes off, and every time it does, he has to go to this fridge and get like this canned punch that also is in the place, and he drinks it, and he plays the Willy's Wonderland pinball game.
And like jams
like he just killed an animatronic bird, and that's what he goes and does. And then he goes back to cleaning.
Everybody's got a coat, man.
But then he goes back to cleaning like nothing happened. And then you meet some of the other characters. There's the girl who is the girl that you see in the intro scene, who's like a Hispanic young lady, and she's trying to light the place on fire. And she gets picked up by this old crankety old lady cop who, like, you find out's raising her, and she gets chained to a fucking pipe in her trailer. And her friends kind of break in and break her out, and they plan on going to Willy's Wonderland to save this guy and then burn it down. And really not like they don't even really have personalities, except for like the one guy who's obsessed with her is like fucking beyond stupid. There's like a really whiny dude. There's a guy who's just not interested, and then there's like the whorish type character that's his girlfriend. But
all very generic horror movie characters.
Yeah. Cut back to Nicolas Cage cleaning. At some point, he sees something happen in the bathroom. I think he sees the bathroom door open, so he heads towards the bathroom. And he hears the voice of the gorilla, who I also didn't write down the name of the gorilla. God damn it. Gus the gorilla, thank you. And it's like a weird hide and seek with the stalls thing, which just ends up being like a fucking wrestling match with this animatronic gorilla. And then he hits it with the plunger at some point. I have a picture.
Yeah, he's like plunges its face.
Yeah. And he ends up, I forget how specifically, he does like really specific things to kill them, like rip out their guts and stuff.
Dude,
Savage.
That is such a Nicolas Cage action shot. Just like that gorilla's like, oh.
And of course, again, his shirt gets covered in the inky black mess, and then he puts the body in a trash bag and puts it by the door next to the bird, which he did the same.
Cleans himself up.
He cleans himself up, puts a new shirt on.
By the way,
thing goes off. He goes get another punch. Meanwhile, the kids get to Willy's Wonderland. And the girl goes inside to try to save him.
Yeah, because
like crawling
they can't
through
burn down the place until because they don't want to like be a part of the problem or whatever. So she has to get them out of there before they burn down the place.
So she like goes through the events and is chased by the Artie the alligator. in the vents, and she gets out before Artie gets her, and she lands down in the forest setting, which would be Siren Sandra, Siren
Sarah.
something, Sarah.
The creepiest of all the
Yeah,
fucking.
I was just saying creepy as shit.
Yeah, and they end up getting in like a fighting match or something. This is the part I think I went to the bathroom, so I missed a little bit of this part specifically. So if you want to help me fill that in, Kiefer, snaps.
I do not honestly remember the exact details that happened.
Long story short, Nicolas Cage saves her.
Yeah.
But Siren
Doesn't he kill
Sarah
Artie
still
at that
alive.
point too?
No, Artie's still alive. Long story short, that all happens. The other guys end up going in as well. And there's like a weird scene where they're all just standing in the middle, and the music for the birthday song starts playing. And my God, is this song annoying?
Oh, is it? I can't wait.
But
You'll need to sample it.
Willy starts singing a song about
Remix.
people standing in a row, and one of them's gonna die or something, like a Pop Goes the Weasel type thing.
Oh man.
Or like a 99 bottles, I think. And the guy who's the knight, which I actually don't have a picture of the knight, but you can see him in like the overall shot of everybody.
His name is probably the best one. It's Nighty Night.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. He just comes up behind the one guy with a giant sword and cuts him in half.
Damn, that's my favorite character now. Nighty Night.
Nighty Night.
I believe Nicolas Cage ditches them all because his alarm goes off, so he went to go get a punch or something.
Yeah. He went to go play pinball and drink some fucking soda.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, no matter what happens, his alarm goes off. He like fucks off everybody and goes and does
Nighty
his thing.
Night is like a dwarf. He's got a giant nose. Oh, dude, I can't wait to watch this.
But yeah, all the people who came in essentially die in like succeeding order, and you kind of find out the backstory, which is what I'm going to go into really quick. Which is Willy was the owner of Willy's Wonderland, and the guy who owned the Willy's Wonderland was a violent serial killer, and he hired other like-minded individuals to be employees at this place.
Go figure.
And there was like a special party room that they would invite the families back to for their birthdays, where they would sneak up on them and kill them. Eventually the town gets wise of this, and they go to take in the serial killers, and they do like a weird suicide pact thing, demonic suicide pact thing, where they transfer their bodies into the animatronics. And then eventually the animatronics get out and start killing people. So the sheriff and the rich guy kind of make a deal with the animatronics that they would trick people into coming in and feeding Willy in exchange for them to not kill the townspeople and whatnot.
So, like, Aztec and cult with animatronic. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I can't wait to watch this.
It's so fucking trash.
But, okay, so we get the obligatory sex scene where the slutty girl, and the guy who's not having anything are just having sex in the birthday room where kids would get drawn to get killed. While Artie the alligator is watching, and they're kind of like, oh, that's fine, give him a show.
That's probably where this dumbass picture is, him just going.
The other guy
in
that
the
comes
corner
in is in like a weird strobe light room, and he's being terrorized by both Siren Sarah and the snapping turtle.
Tito Turtle.
Yeah, Tito the turtle.
He's so dumb looking.
He's probably my favorite character.
He's
so fucking bad, bro.
Yeah, he's probably my favorite.
And this he's a mariachi turtle. Is that what's going on?
Willy doesn't really move. Willy kind of stays where he's at for most of these. And so as the guys are having sex, the alligator just kind of comes up and just starts biting the dude and like starts chewing on the dude, and the girl's like on top of him screaming, and then she gets up and tries to go for the door and can't get out the door.
Yeah, she don't even try to help him. She is out of
They
And
don't
then-
really show what happened to the girl either. They just kind of
No, they cut away, and then Nick Cage and the girl that came in to save him go to the door, and Nick Cage just kind of comes in and kills it quick. Actually, I think he believes he kicks
Yeah,
his
like-
mouth and he like rips it.
Yeah, that's
completely open.
my favorite kill of the fucking movie too. It's just him fucking ripping that shit open, dude.
You
Well,
think it's
yeah.
gonna be like this big showdown, and it's just like, Boom.
I know I'm probably different, but this like you're not ruining this movie for me at all. I can't wait to see this shit. with
Yeah,
my
yeah.
eyes.
No, and
Like,
the really dumb one I forgot
a
hides in the
silent
arcade.
Nicolas Cage killing animatronics with his bare fucking hands. Yeah, hell yeah, let's do this.
Right. And I forgot to mention the really dumb one that's obsessed with the main girl goes and hides in the arcade in this big rocket thing and calls the police lady, who's the only cop who has some like temp guy working with him for like quarter pay, like 4 times the double time or whatever.
Jeez.
And she's like, fuck 'em. At first she's like, forget them, they went in there. That's on them. And then but then you find out she cares for the girl because she raised her as from a child. So she's like, we have to go into Willy's and save them. So the 2 cops end up heading towards Willy's. The guy in the strobe room just gets straight up eaten by the 2. Yeah. And then, go ahead.
I was gonna say, do you mind if I bring something up that's like?
Yeah, if I miss something, go ahead.
No, you haven't missed anything. You just haven't covered it yet. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
go for it.
All right. So, I think that the funniest thing about this movie is after we watched it, Bartle said the exact same thing I was thinking. He said, I kept waiting for a plot twist.
Oh, hold that.
but
Hold
the-
that. Hold that. We're going to
okay.
talk about that at the end.
Okay.
Wait till we get to the end of the movie for that. Because I don't want to spoil that until we gotta. But
Yeah,
anyway,
don't spoil
there's
it for me yet.
no, there's build up to that, so you kind of when you see the whole movie, you'll see it more, I think. But yeah, you keep getting this gimmick where Nicolas Cage changes his shirt every time he kills one. His thing goes off at like most inconvenient times. He has to go get his punch and play the arcade, which I
Why'd
have
you
a
play
picture
the-
of here.
I don't. Wait, hold on.
The question
go back,
of why.
Go back. Let me look at this punch.
Anyway, the question of why is a very big question in this movie, and we'll talk about why at the end.
He's just having a good time. He don't really
Yeah, he's
care.
just having a great time. He's being Nicolas Cage, pretty much. But then he'll like as soon as it's done, like he'll go and he'll just straight up kill the thing right away that he was whoever he was fighting with. But then there's the lizard chameleon type alien girl. I don't even know what she is.
Yeah, I think she's a chameleon. I'm pretty sure she's a chameleon.
I think her name's like Cammy the Chameleon or something. Did I not get a picture of her?
Yeah, it's Cammy.
I didn't. You can see her here. Oh, she would be the one off screen. Great.
It is.
She's like a
Definitely-
chameleon thing. She's got like a long tongue, and she's talking to this dumb guy. She lures him out and is like, everyone
What?
makes the other ones make fun of me. Like, help me get out of the other side.
Yeah, she's like,
and
they
I'll
make
help
fun of
you."
all my colors, and I'm different. I'm good. I'm an innocent.
Yeah, they definitely created that one different.
And like as soon as the other girl and Nicolas Cage show up, she just wraps her tongue around his neck and snaps his neck. And then like total mood shift and like, I'm gonna kill you. And this is when Nicolas Cage's watch goes off and he just hands the girl a switchblade and goes to get his punch and do his and then the girl and the thing start fighting, and then he does his thing, and he comes back, and like almost immediately like knocks the he gets the tongue wrapped around something, and he's like dragging it, but it's still alive, and he drags it
Wow.
to the main room, and that's when the sheriff lady comes in with the temp guy, and she holds a shotgun on him, and it's like let that thing go. And then ends up like zip tying him and leaving him to die. And she leaves with the girl in the police car with the or no, she stays outside to watch, and the temp guy
sends the
leaves
girl with the temp. Yeah.
Yeah. So 2 big things happen here. Cammy and the siren girl both come out, and they're like, "How about a menage a trois?" And he gets up, not even minding that his hands are tied behind his back, and proceeds to like crotch the one to death.
Yeah. So he like straddles the neck of one with his legs, and like breaks her fucking neck.
This
by
one,
like,
yeah,
Yeah, Sarah the Siren.
like his crotch is like 4 inches from her mouth, if that.
yeah.
He's just like crotching her to death, and like snaps her head off or something.
Crotching
And then
her
the
to
other
death.
one's just there, and like he like kicks her and stuff, so like she's on the ground. He gets up, he just snaps the thing behind his back like it was nothing, and then like proceeds to rip her head off.
Jesus.
Meanwhile, in the cop car, the girl's trying to convince the guy to go back. And they park for a minute, and sure as hell, the turtle comes through the window and kills the guy. And the girl tries to shoot him, but doesn't have bullets in the shotgun. So she proceeds to just bash the hell out of his testicles. Which, who knew a robot had testicles? But he's like, and mind you, the Tito, the turtle, doesn't speak English, speaks Spanish. And the subtitles are just, oh my balls, oh my balls.
Hold on.
But there was
It
some
speaks
witchcraft.
Spanish?
There was some...
I really can't wait for my girlfriend
Did
to
I
watch
miss
this
something,
movie.
Snaps?
Oh my god.
The backstory with the rituals that led to them being killers.
Was there a backstory? I just remember that they were hired by Willy and they were all just kind of serial killers.
You don't remember how they like recruited the most fucked up people? And
well, yeah, they just, that's why
they ended up
he
eventually getting caught. And
yeah, we talked about that.
It must have been when I was away from my phone. My bad.
Maybe it's all right.
It's all good.
But yeah, it just proceeds to bash the hell out of his balls, and then she drives away, heading back to Willy's. Didn't check if he was dead. Like, didn't finish the job. Just leaves him.
They'll go get some fucking punch.
Heads to Willy's. Meanwhile, the only person left in Willy's Wonderland is Willy himself. And the birthday music, he changes his shirt, does the whole gimmick.
It's finally, and
it's cleaning.
The whole place.
Oh
finally,
my god.
Yeah, he cleans
pretty much
throughout
clean.
the whole thing.
Yeah, the whole place is finally like clean too. Before
Willy is a weasel, and that is one hell of a weasel.
Yeah, Willy the weasel.
God.
And so the birthday button gets hit. There's streamers coming down. He's face to face with Willy, and Willy just starts destroying this man, like scratching them all up with his big metal claws. He gets thrown into a ball pit. Willy kind of walks away because he doesn't see him in the ball pit. Then it cuts to Nicolas Cage drinking a punch. Is this where he like plays the game and he finally like turns over the score? Or is that after he fights Willy?
That's after he fights Willy. So
okay.
Like everything's all completely fucked up again. Like the whole fucking place is just completely
like
trashed
it's not clean after they just showed it clean.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it cuts to him, and he has like 2 sticks that he tapes together, and
he puts the rest of the sodas into a fucking bag,
like a burlap sack. And then it cuts to him face to face again with Willy, and the music's playing, and he is hitting him with everything, and absolutely destroys Willy. Actually, during all this, the sheriff has come in. Like right before he fights Willy for the first time, the sheriff comes in with the gun pulled on him again, and Willy just kills the sheriff, cuts her in half with one swipe.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's
so
weird.
Nick Cage bests Willy. He goes, and there's the most fantastic scene of him playing that pinball machine. There's like all the colored rainbow lights coming off of him. He's dancing. He's doing like a weird Pulp Fiction dance around the guy before he cut off his ear thing while he's playing this pinball game. He finally turns over the score, like fully turns over to negative numbers. That's how high he scores on this thing. He finishes cleaning the place.
Again?
Like, yeah, spotlessly clean. And then there's kind of like the cleanup of the movie where he comes, you see the two guys outside the car, the tow guy, repairman, and the rich guy. And he brings him the car. He's like, oh, that'll be nice for my collection. And then Nick Cage comes out, and they're kind of like flabbergasted by the whole thing. Meanwhile, I didn't mention that Sarah the Siren here, I don't know why I called her Cammy. Sarah the Siren crawls out of her trash bag, and she's still alive.
These just gotta be some huge trash bags.
Yeah, they were.
Okay.
But yeah, they go in, they check it out, it's fully clean. He's like, they're happy that it's done. Everything's done. They don't have to worry about it anymore. Nick Cage gets in his car, drives away with the girl.
Runs over the turtle.
Yeah, they drive down the street. They hit the turtle. He falls to pieces. He doesn't say a word. His thing goes off. He goes to drink the punch. Instead, he hands it over to the girl, and she drinks it. Cut to the other two guys. They're like, okay, let's go get a beer. They get in the car. And as they sit in the car and they're talking, you see in the rearview mirror the Siren Sarah, who like lights up the car and explodes with the car. And you see it in the peripheral of Nick Cage as he's driving away. Roll credits. So now we can talk about the end of the movie. So the whole movie, I'm waiting for some sort of plot device, some sort of revelation about Nick Cage's character, why he's drinking the punch, why he's playing the arcade game. Maybe he's like secretly a serial killer too. Maybe this, that, and the other. Answers. I need answers. You don't get anything. You don't get a fucking answer to a single thing in the movie.
Nicolas Cage is the fly in my soup that I just don't bother. I just drink the soup. Like,
but yeah,
it's just Nick Cage being Nick Cage again.
I feel like I'm gonna end up in our chat tomorrow telling you after what my synopsis is of this movie tomorrow after watching it and go, I have no answers.
Yeah.
Because it sounds as confusing. Like, what?
Go ahead, Snaps. I know you wanted to talk about it a bit.
Oh, I was just pretty much going to say I agreed. I was also waiting on something to happen with his character, but yeah. Another thing, I think that it makes Nick Cage look even more badass, like how quick he kills them. I think what makes that look even more badass is the backstory, like the fact that these things are possessed by the power of a ritual, suicide ritual from these killers. It's like you'd think it would be a lot more powerful, but no, Nick Cage just, it was nothing to him. He's a gangster.
So, since I don't think I've ever, I might have talked about this on the Kaga stream, but as you know, our boy Kaga is a big Nick Cage fan, and he has a song about Nicolas Cage. He samples Nick Cage all the fucking time. He'll randomly send me Nick Cage memes, like, just out of fucking nowhere. I saw this movie before Kaga. And as soon as I was done watching it, I hit him up and I was like, bro, you have to see this movie. You have to sample Nick Cage. It has the best fucking Nick Cage songs I have ever heard. And he hits me back after. He's all like, I was waiting the whole fucking time for something.
Oh, fuck. Oh, man, that's funny. That, like, look. That's good friendship right there.
You made me watch that? Yes.
I probably wouldn't talk to you for an entire day, but that's good.
It's a good movie, though.
It is, and actually the gore level's a little low on this movie, but the cheese level is 100. Like, the robots bleed like inky black, but it's not even excessive. I think the goriest thing is the police officer getting cut in half. Or maybe when like
that,
people are chewed up a little bit.
Willy's death was pretty fucking brutal.
But
there was a
you
lot.
don't need as much fluid for a robot.
But like even that, like the gore is toned down, even though it's like it's aggressive, but it's more like action gore than horror gore.
Yeah,
if that makes sense. And It's very much. I said it. I think it's equally an action movie to a horror movie. In that opinion,
it's in every sense. It's a Nick Cage movie.
It is.
Like,
Nick Cage doesn't have to say a word, and he's still 100% Nick Cage.
This definitely
this
sounds on par with Matchstick Men as far as a Nicolas Cage movie.
Bro, and like the horror spectrum of Nick Cage, this movie beat Wicker Man for me. Barely, but it beat Wicker Man for me.
Shout out Wicker Man. Which I saw in the movie theaters because I make bad decisions.
Yes. Shout out to the bees, dude. Shout out to the bees.
Yes. But yeah, fantastic movie. It was my first time watching it, and I will definitely be watching it again, probably on the regular, because
it was great.
It's a good time from beginning to end. Now you know, like, he's not like, you're not going to waste your time maybe like thinking about what Nick Cage might be in this movie. You just enjoy it for what it is.
It's kind of like when you saw the advert for things like 40-Year-Old Virgin or Happy Fun Time Murders. You're like, okay, what's with this title and what is Steve Carell doing? And then you got this other one. You're like, what is with Muppets and murder? Huh? And then you watch it and you go, this isn't Muppets, bro. Have you seen that?
Yes, I fucking love it, bro. I love it.
I feel like this movie is going to be down the realm of like Fight Club in a way where like all the secrets, but it still has rewatch value because maybe there's stuff you miss, maybe there's things in the background. I don't know.
No, and I would say I thought the same thing, bro. I thought that maybe there was something like that wasn't.
I'm gonna study that damn cam with everything I got.
I would rewatch
how like Fight Club like flashes the Brad Pitt shit throughout it, and then there's a bunch of it. Like I thought maybe there was something about that with Willy, but when we watched it, that'll be like the 4th or 5th time I've seen it. There is nothing in there.
I'm gonna watch it 100 times so I can actually figure out the lore behind who Nick Cage's character is.
There's none.
I'm convinced it's in there somewhere, like deep down.
Bro, they might be explaining that in the second one.
I don't want to take that as an answer. I want to figure it out.
I mean, I'm not expecting you to either. I'm just putting forth.
If the second one doesn't have Nick Cage in it, I'm not fucking watching it.
Well, why the heck? I mean, I haven't even watched the first one, and I'm all on board with that one. I don't think that the silent character could do the same as a silent Nicolas Cage.
Just like if Marvel ever puts out another Ghost Rider, unless it's Nick Cage, I'm not watching it.
Yeah, for sure. Or at least cameoing Nick Cage for a significant portion of the movie.
If Nick Cage becomes like the Outrider or whatever the fuck it is, the fucking...
I need Sam Elliott if it's gonna be like the other one.
Didn't Sam Elliott die though?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think he's dead, bro.
Well, we'll resurrect him just for the movie.
Nick Cage lives forever, so you know.
I don't know if Andrew froze or his just blew his mind. I'm gonna put him in the backstage because I think he froze.
I'm pretty sure he froze.
But when he comes back, he can give me a wave and we'll get him back in here. But let's talk about our favorite parts of this movie.
So for me, the top 2 is the first kill with the fucking ostrich because it just sets up the whole fucking movie, and you're just like, well, it's just Nick Cage killing shit. And then the Artie kill, bro. The Artie kill is
alligator.
Fucking perfect, absolutely fucking perfect.
All right, how about you, Snaps?
I really enjoyed the fact that he could just go from playing a pinball machine to killing something to going back to playing pinball like so quickly. I think that part right there made me laugh the most. Probably my favorite just because of that.
Hell yeah. I will say I have 2 favorite parts for very different reasons. I love cheese and I love terrible, cheesy movies. So I think the part, like I said, I love Tito the Turtle. And the fact that he was just getting hit in the animatronic balls was just so funny to me. I don't know. That part really cracks me up. But if anybody knows me and my love of cheese, and I've said this about Nightmare on Elm Street 2, but I believe you need a somewhat dance scene, song, or number. And we get this with him at the end with the pinball machine and that weird psychedelic dance he does while he's playing the game. And 10 out of 10 on that. They gave me that. I was so happy. I also like the little gimmicks, like the changing the shirt or the progressively cleaner the place gets. Like little
the
things.
The shirt
like
thing I fucking love too, man. Like that shit was fucking hilarious to me. Just because he always had to be clean. Like no matter what, he had to be fucking clean.
He was always wash his hands before he got his punch too.
Yeah.
It was
like
gimmicky.
Yeah, like, really just
there was a fucking go ahead.
Sorry, I was just gonna say his character is really just what makes the movie, I think.
There's a really strange level of OCD to the movie that I fucking love. Like it's so fucking weird, man.
Awesome. Now, is there anything in the movie you would change? Anything that you weren't feeling?
Nope.
Weren't loving? Anything you think you'd change up? Or I know there's one thing you said the other night when you were watching it.
Yeah. I just thought it was kind of lame that like we had to deal with that one slutty character for so long when she was so annoying, and then they don't even show her boobs. Like you could have at least done something creative.
There's like a zoomed in scene where like her shirt gets opened and it's bra, and they easily could have done nudity with that.
Or like had the guy that killed her boyfriend rip her boob off or something like dramatic and original, but no, nothing.
No, nothing.
Like PG-13 besides the gore.
The only thing I could say that I really wish, well, there's two things. So one, I want closure. I want to know what's up with Nick Cage's character, but it's funny how it ended without giving me that, so I'm okay with that. My biggest issue, I think, is they didn't develop any of the secondary characters who die. Like, they were very one-dimensional. They weren't even two-dimensional. They were just, this is it. Like, only, like, the guy who's obsessed with the girl even had a personality, really. And then the slutty girl, like, everybody else is just kind of, I'm here. They hired me to be an extra and die. Like, I wish they had given them a little more thought just to make their deaths a little funnier, I guess.
Have more of a connection with the characters, yeah.
I feel like they dulled them down just to up Nick Cage, and like, Nick Cage is already up enough. Like, you could have gave them just a little bit more. I would have been happy with like 2.5D characters, but we didn't even get that. But yeah, absolutely love this movie. I would put this one above Banana Splits on my watch list.
Oh yeah.
Fantastic movie. So let's move on to our short little bonus.
Oh, The Hug.
Which is called The Hug. It's a Halloween short from Hulu called one of the Huluween shorts. Now, when I first watched this, I thought it was an entire feature-length movie, and what I saw was like the intro. But it turns out it's the entirety of the short.
Yeah.
So it starts off in Petey the Panda's pizzeria, Pandemonium Pizzeria. And you don't even really see any animatronics at first. It's just kids being absolute hooligans. Like these young kids being chained up on the skee ball so they could cheat and win. You get the bratty birthday kid wearing his crown. And the employee who's just over it. And the employee who's over it kind of goes over and closes a curtain and like turns a key off. And the kid comes up and he's like, I want a show from Petey the Panda. And he's like, well, he's taking a break. Pandas have to eat too. And the kid is just not having it. And then the mom, who's clearly over everything, is like, "Kids, the pizza's here." The kids all rush towards the pizza, and the guy takes his keys, puts them on his belt, and then heads over to the table. But the kid bumps him and takes the keys. The kid then proceeds to turn on the machine, opens up the curtain, and then you get your first look at Petey the Panda. I believe his name's Petey. I could be wrong with the Petey thing. I've went hard into it, so it is that for now, I guess.
I'm pretty sure it is.
It seems like it should be.
But he's like classic animatronic, like, "Hi, how are you?" Like thing. "Would you like a show?" And the kid's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Okay, but you're gonna have to give me a hug." And the kid comes up, he gives him a hug, and then he's like, "You're hurting me." And Petey the Panda starts hugging him harder. And claws come out of his fingers and like dig into his back. And the face on his face actually, like his eyes roll back and then real eyes roll forward. And then the face falls off and you get like kind of the same face, but very real and like very grotesque.
With sharp teeth.
And then it cuts to screaming and the curtain closes, I believe. And then the guy who is just over it notices keys are missing, looks over, sees the curtain, rips open the curtain, and you get like a half a second maybe of Petey the Panda just standing there, and then all of a sudden the kid's arm comes out of his mouth like he's trying to escape being eaten. And that is it. Roll credits. End of short.
Yep.
And I think... Go ahead.
No, because you were going to say exactly what I was going to say.
No, go ahead. I don't remember
it should be... You were going to say it should be a full movie.
Oh, I agree. It should be a full movie. Like that. I think actually it was made maybe as like bait for people, like producers, to like make it a movie.
Yeah.
And I really wish it was made a movie because that it would have been a perfect opening scene right before title. And so I was so confused when the credits ran and I watched the whole thing and I'm like, okay, maybe this is one of those movies where the credits kind of roll before it starts. And then it just went to a different show and I'm like, what? Like, I need this to be a thing.
Yeah, so, it could be such a wicked movie.
It really could, but, you know.
And it fits along the same kind of guidelines as the other movies where, like, very Five Nights at Freddy's. I didn't say this about Willy's Wonderland, but Willy's Wonderland kind of reminds me a little bit of the new horror game that's out that everybody was talking about, which is Poppy's Playtime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reminds me a lot of Poppy's Playtime. Especially with the alligator in the ducks scene. That really reminded me of Poppy's Playtime. But yeah, all these movies are fantastic animatronic movies. Highly recommend checking them out. And I want to thank everybody for watching us today. If we got anything wrong, we missed something, you want to talk about it more, please comment down below. We love to hear your thoughts on what we're doing and how we could do it better. Leave a like if you liked what we were doing. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can catch anything else we will be doing. There are other movies down the line that we've already watched or we will be watching. This is going to be an ongoing series, so make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss any of those.
Oh, yeah.
And as always, I like to end all these videos saying, stay safe, stay spicy, stay away from hate.
Live Moss.
Live Moss.
Whoop,
And
whoop.
watch horror movies. Whoop, whoop.